evening and welcome to Pound Posse Presents. I think Zach and I are feeling the same way tonight. It's like we set up too easy, maybe? Is that how you felt? Yeah, like he's saying exactly. We set up too easy and like just had seems like extra time, and I feel like I didn't do something or I forgot something. I don't know, kind of a strange sensation. It's been a couple of weeks since we did a show, because last week was the Bikers Against Animal Cruelty rally and I was tabling there. So I don't know, it's not like we're at a practice or anything, but it's kind of a strange, I don't know, it's a strange night, but it is what it is, and here we are and we're on the air, and let's roll. So as I mentioned, last weekend was the Bikers Against Animal Cruelty rally. And let's get a quick picture up from there. This was the group picture at the end. Only some of us made it into the picture. Everybody was kind of wandering around. We tried to get some members of BAAC, but they are so busy at these events. We've got Jen in there. We've got Desmond's Army. We've got Frankie's Friends. We've got Hudson. We've got Juno and Sweetpea, and just Little Oliver Foundation, and For the Love of Jack, and yours truly, and of course I had my little girl Juno because I love her. But I don't know if I missed anybody, but representing there. Always love to do those group photos because it captures the moment, and they're different. They're the same but different every time, but it's like a cool thing, and I have to give Deb, Juno's mom, credit for that. You can see her down the front there. She had Rizzo in tow. And I will tell you, if you follow Juno's place, Rizzo is just a little dream. I love him. But I love Juno, and I love Jake, and I love Scout and Paris. Rizzo's just the bomb. I love all of Juno's pack, but Juno is my special girl, and she kind of knows that, I think, and that's a good thing as well. I'll take the camera back. I have to give props to Bikers Against Animal Cruelty because they always put on just an amazing event. It runs like a well-oiled machine. You see all of their team members and volunteers just working so hard, and they make it look effortless, but really, they're really working very hard to make it all so seamless and such a great event. So I thank them for their hospitality and for putting on such, just a great day. Every event they have, like I said, is just amazing, and the dedication that they have to the cause, it's just unparalleled. It's just wonderful to see, and it makes me proud. Always makes me proud to be able to call them my friends. And of course, that was the last show 2 weeks ago, was Bikers Against Animal Cruelty in the house. So give them the props that they deserve. And we've got another event that we'll be talking about towards the end of the show coming up next week. So there's going to be another miss, but it's an important miss, and it's one of my 2 a year. So anyway, in other news, after almost 3 years, things are finally getting real at Sweetpea. And let's get those pictures up, Zach. This week, the pieces of the building arrived. How amazing is that? That's just so exciting. There's a video that I believe Deb took of the truck actually pulling in the driveway and circling around and parking. And there you have the foundation, and they ran the drainage, and they've done so much. And this was just such a busy day this week of just amazing progress. Who would have thought that this was finally ever going to happen? For a while it just seemed like it never was going to. There's another picture or two. And right there you have the look that just says it all. That is Sweetpea's founder, Dick Clark, and he is just smiling from ear to ear, and you totally cannot blame him for that, because this is such a huge day. seeing the foundation go in, seeing, like, you know, all the other peripheral kind of things, the drainage and the filling and whatever. But like, this is now the building. This is getting real. This is what he has waited for almost 3 years, through thick and thin. It's quite a road. And, you know, now there's light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm going to tell you, from my end of it, it feels good. I can't imagine how emotional and how just over the moon, you know, the actual Sweetpea people are, you know, Melanie and Deb and Dick and, you know, Mary and just everybody involved. This is huge. And hopefully, just after the beginning of the year, it will be completed. And then there will be certainly a celebration worth attending as the grand reopening of Sweetpea occurs. And you can betcha I'll be there. It's just going to be so cool. And I can't wait to see the pictures, and I'll keep you all posted through my page and through the show of the progress as it starts to happen. I don't know that they can possibly build it fast enough to get everybody to just be in a place where it's believable. And of course, then it's the inside and, you know, the furnishings and all that needs to be done. But, you know, step by step, you got to put the building up first. And that's exactly what's happening. And it's just so amazing to see. All right, so another update. And yep, there's Dick again. I love his smile. Anyway, let's get the picture of Rose up. Rose? Rose? We'll just keep making noises at each other. There is an update on Rose, and it's a good one. If you were watching the rerun last week, it was the show that Zilla from Desmond's Army and Kim from Road to Home we were all talking about Rose's case and how she's been sitting for 4 years at the Waterbury Pound, and that Kim had, you know, offered to take her, and, you know, she'd have sanctuary. That Waterbury didn't have to kill her for, you know, the bites that she's accused of. Well, there was resistance to that plan, and there was pretty much the judge put on the table what he is going to be willing to allow to happen. And that would be that from August 17th was 2 weeks for it to happen, where Rose could be evaluated by a behaviorist. And of course, you know, unfortunately, we really don't know who that's going to be and what the credentials of that person are. But that's not in anybody's, you know, that's not in our hands. She can be evaluated, which is unprecedented. And that if this behaviorist deems Rose to be able to be rehabilitated, that the owner can choose a place for Rose to go to for this rehabilitation. However, if this behaviorist deems Rose unable to be rehabilitated, then the judge's order is that she goes to Road to Home. So at this point, Rose's fate will not be the needle either way at this point, and that is huge. Hopefully, Rose will be able to be the bar that sets actions in the future for these dogs that are on death row. And, you know, it will be definitely precedent setting. It already is, because there really has not been any backing down of the municipalities for these dogs that are sitting on death row. I mean, think Simon. That's the most recent case of a dog that has been ordered to be put down because of a bite. And of course, that story, the plot always thickens, but you know, the kid his ball went in the yard, and he cut the fence, and he went in there, and the dog went to him, and he raised his stick, his lacrosse stick, because it was a lacrosse ball. And, you know, of course, the dog felt threatened and defended his property and himself. And so, you know, the kid doesn't get punished for cutting the fence and trespassing, but the dog needs to be killed, not so much. So that is something that you'll probably seeing on the news a lot lately. And, you know, the case that probably is the longest standing case in this state of Cato and Cleo, whose mom, Kim, we saw at the BAAC Rally on Saturday, still waiting after 6 years. 6 years with her dogs, Cato and Cleo, on death row. And Cato has cancer now, and they still won't just let him go home. Unbelievable to think that, you know, people think this is fair to do. The people in power think this is right. You know, it's been admitted that mistakes were made, but, you know, nobody wants to take the ownership and the responsibility to send these dogs home. And it's just a sham. It really is. And I will take the camera back at this point. Keep your fingers crossed for Rose. Hopefully we'll be hearing something soon as to where she's going to end up spending her life. And, you know, talking about the broken system in Connecticut, as far as, you know, animal control and welfare happens to be, we've got like one heck of an ACO Hall of Shame this week. I've learned of 3 different instances where animal control officers should really be ashamed of themselves. 3 different facilities involved, and I'm going to stir it up only so much, and I'm only going to disclose the one that I think requires the most heat right now. But you know, the system is just so broken. I don't understand how we're ever going to be able to fix it, but we really need to form some sort of posse to try to, Zach's in there cracking up. But seriously, there needs to be like a group or a posse or something to try to step in and reform some of the garbage that goes on, because it's just, the animals don't stand a chance. You know, I used to say Waterbury was the worst place in the world to be an animal, but like it seems like Connecticut isn't so hot as a whole. I understand there are so many more places that, you know, really need help, but I'm here, and here is where I can address. But there was a domestic rabbit that was in somebody's property, and the person recognized it as a domestic rabbit that was probably dumped, because that's what people do. So she took it inside, and she was tending to it, and she called animal control, and animal control literally told her to put the rabbit back outside and let nature take its course. Let that sink in for a second. Here's a woman who's doing the right thing, because a domestic rabbit is not going to survive outside in the wild, doesn't know how to survive, and will be instantly prey for the first thing that sees it and decides to converge upon it and make it a meal. Put the rabbit back outside and let nature take its course. You should be ashamed of yourself. The other day, I saw a post by an animal control page on Facebook, a picture of 2 dogs in the street, and the post said, if these are your dogs on such and such street, go get them. Yes, let that sink in for a second. Here's animal control. Purportedly, it was a post that they took and saw from somebody else, but I don't believe anything, because I started and was asked through a third party to stop bashing, but, you know, don't make excuses. Oh, we're a part-time facility, and we're this, and we're that, and we're busy. No. If there are animals on the loose, you don't take a picture and post it. You go look for them. You get them to safety. That is animal control. So that's just unacceptable. And, you know, I'll stop bashing when you start doing your job. The third one is probably, I don't know what I would do. I have no idea. Apparently, somebody called animal control in East Hartford because there was a cat underneath their car. Animal control came out. I guess they got the cat, gave it some water, had it in the air-conditioned truck. It was an old cat. It was probably a little, you know, under the weather for the heat, let's say. So I'm just going to throw this out there. Keep your cats inside. It's where they belong. Moving right along. The animal control officer was told by this neighbor, I guess, that the cat didn't have an owner. However, it came out in the wash that another neighbor said, yes, the cat does belong to someone. Regardless, the animal control officer from East Hartford took this cat in the vehicle, drove it 3 miles away, and abandoned it at the dump. Are you kidding me? Are you just kidding me right now? You take someone's animal, drive it 3 miles away, and abandon it, and you are animal control? If there was any question, you should have taken that cat and brought it to your facility and cared for it. Although what I saw was that they considered euthanizing it, taking it to be euthanized, killed, but it perked up when they gave it some water and had it in the air conditioner. So they took it and dumped it because they thought it was feral. Really? This cat was friendly. This cat hung out with you. It's not a feral cat. You dumped it 3 miles away from its house. Now these people are frantically trying to find their cat. Zach, let's get we've got a picture of the cat. We've got the lost poster. There's the poster. There are the numbers to call. And there's a close-up of the cat. Like what? He was feral because his ear is crumpled? That's not a feral cat. A cat's ear is tipped, missing the tip of the ear. Not, it's got like some kind of whatever that is, injury or just, malformity or something. So now this cat is wandering around, should be sleeping inside every night. It's old. It's not prepared to live at a dump where everything wild goes for a meal. Are you kidding me right now? Anyway, if you see this cat, please call 860-680-7553. You can follow the story on Facebook, Friends of Buddy / Lost Cat Rescue and Trapping. And, I'm sure they could use some help hanging posters. There's been a potential sighting or two. This cat needs to get back home, and East Hartford Animal Control needs to be reprimanded for a move like this. So do by all means, if you're as aggravated about this as I am, go to the page Friends of Buddy, Lost Cat Rescue and Trapping, follow the story, and inquire as to what the steps are going to be, because I think that they also want to see, there can't be obviously restitution, but there needs to be something done. There needs to be punishment. This should not ever happen. I'm just appalled. All right, I've got a couple of adoptables. First up is Zeus. This is a beautiful portrait of this dog. There's another real life picture, and he is just gorgeous. Zeus has been sitting at the shelter since 2011. 2011. It's 2018. Do the math. He's 8 or 9 years old now. And the question is the shelter going to be the only life this poor boy ever knows? Okay, he needs to be an only, which makes it hard to place him. That's understood. He's one of those dogs who doesn't show well in a kennel. You know, he jumps and barks and, you know, basically there's a lot of these dogs. They defend their little spot in the world. That's all they have. They bark and jump because they want attention. I mean, you can't blame them. They're in those kennels for 23 or more hours a day. They see a person and, you know, it's like the same thing as if your dog saw somebody walk by in the window at home. They're defending their little spot. They're doing their thing. This poor dog wants out. He wants attention. The volunteers adore him. He adores the volunteers. He's just your typical goofy, lovable, mushy pitty who deserves his chance after all these years at a real home. So if you cannot adopt him, please share him. He is posted on the Pound Posse Presents Facebook page. He needs the exposure. He needs the shares. He needs to find a home. He is at the Shelter Connection in Port Washington, New York. Their number is 516-869-6311. Once again, that's 516-869-6311. Or you can visit their website at shelterconnection.com. Once again, that's shelterconnection.com. Next up, we have Storm. And look at that beautiful face. Poor Storm is a 12-year-old girl who entered the town of Hempstead Animal Shelter when her owner went into a nursing home. And folks, I see so much of that. It's just so hard to imagine a dog losing a home because an owner just is incapacitated. They don't understand. They don't know what after all these years, why, what happened. She was transferred to Last Hope, which I give Last Hope much respect because they are the organization that took in Murdoch, my Murdoch. Anyway, she was transferred to Last Hope, and all summer long there was the understanding that Storm had an adopter at the beginning of August. Well, guess what? This person went MIA. So now Storm is still sitting in the shelter. She's been robbed of valuable networking time. So she sat there for basically nothing because the person made a promise that they didn't keep. She's still homeless. And she's probably so heartbroken and confused. She's described as a love bug. She does not like cats. That seems to be her only caveat. I mean, that doesn't have to be the end of the world, right? Not everybody has cats. And again, if you cannot adopt Storm, please go to the Pound Posse Presents Facebook page and share her. She needs to get the exposure that she's lost tenfold to get this senior dog in a home. You know, all she knows is that her world is turned upside down, and the faster she gets into a home, the faster her little heart can heal. So if you're interested, contact Last Hope at 516-783-0030. Once again, that's 516-783-0030. Or you can visit their website at lasthopeanimalrescue.org. lasthopeanimalrescue.org. Next, just a little reminder about Bow Wow Bark in the Park this Saturday. This is, you know, one of the two events that I'll table at in a year. It's this Saturday, September 1st, from 10 till 5. It's at Rockwell Park in Bristol, Connecticut. There will be vendors, food, raffles, rescues, a pity march, a talent contest, and a costume contest, of which I am one of the judges once again this year. It seems to be my permanent spot, and I'll take it. I'm a judge along with Sherry from For the Love of Jack and Deb from Juno's Place, and we have a great time doing that every year, and it's going to be just as good this year. There's still time to get a space if you're interested. Alexandria will certainly make room for you. If you want an application, if you want more information, you can email bowwowbarkinthepark@gmail.com. Once again, that's bowwowbarkinthepark@gmail.com. And really, this is such a fun event. It was actually the first one I ever planned on tabling at last year. I'm kind of new to the tabling game, but you know, it's not that bad when you have help. And I'm just going to throw it out there. Zach is not going to be able to attend with me again this one like last week. And if anybody wants to come and hang out and help me man the table, I would love your company, because it's not that much fun, and it's not that easy alone. So we're going to have Juno. We're going to have Hudson the Railroad Puppy. We're going to have For the Love of Jack. We're going to have Desmond's Army, Bikers Against Animal Cruelty, the Little Oliver Foundation, yours truly, Frankie's Friends is going to be there again, just like last weekend. There are so many fun organizations that are going to be there. You really don't want to miss it. I'll take the camera back. Where are we looking here for time? Over a minute. So let's take another look at Zeus and Storm. Our clocks just aren't synchronized. I'd love to know who did this picture, because it's just gorgeous. I would love to see like every dog in the world done in that way. But Zeus, looking for a home. He's been in the shelter since 2011. Can't even imagine the thought of him, that's the only life he knows is shelter life. It's just horrifying. Storm, 12 years old. Her mom went to a nursing home. Unfortunately, you know, she was supposed to have an adoption, but the person went MIA. So now she desperately needs a home. She's lost time for the fact that there was allegedly an agreement. And, you know, as always, because people, this poor dog is still waiting. So anyway, we are out of time. And I'm going to say peace, love, and dogs. We won't see you next week, but we'll see you the week after. Thank you for watching, and good night.